we are seeing right now being performed by the driver, so to say, on screen. 19 minutes to go in this single qualifying session. More explaining about it later on, I'm sure, but I would like to introduce my co-commentator today as well, Felix van Delft. Hello, how are you doing, man?
Hi there. Yeah, I'm doing great so far. Really excited to see how these drivers can cope with the wet conditions here in qualifying, and yeah, it's gonna be an interesting sight to see.
So one of the things, obviously, I talked about was the qualifying. Firstly, the weather, though, Felix. Last year in Spa, I remember it as the day of yesterday. We had a wet race where it was actually pouring down with rain in the middle of the race and at the beginning as well. That was the first wet race in the history of Formula Sim racing, and ever since we haven't really seen a second wet race, neither in WC, but also nor in ACE. Today is the day though, but once again it is in ACE and not in WC. But perhaps we can see it tomorrow as well. What is the case though is that it's not raining right now. That means that there are no raindrops falling. No shit, Captain Obvious. But the track is wet, which means the track will be drying up more and more towards the end of the session. And Felix, you would presume that the fastest laps will be put in towards the end of the session. I reckon that it's not gonna rain anymore. So
Yeah. Oh, sorry, the doorbell's ringing. Sorry. 1 second.
Well, Felix is going to open his door then. One thing I talked about as well is the new qualification session, the new qualifying session, and I would really like to talk about something about that, or say something about that. Excuse me. The previous session we had two qualifications, Q1 and Q2. Q1 was a qualifying with a length of 20 minutes. I'm gonna guess basically. Yes, it was 20 minutes, and there was no Park from A enabled in that Q session, as the top 10 would advance to Q2. Basically the same system as we have always seen, and basically the same system in FSR as well. Although having said that, the Q2 session in ACE took only 5 minutes. That has been completely scrapped, not only for ACE, but also for every single division we have in FSR. That means tomorrow you'll see the new Q system in charge as well in both Pro and WC. What is the new Q system? What does it look like? We've got completely rid of the Q1 and Q2 sessions. There is now one big Q session, and that's it. A qualification session of 20 minutes where the drivers have got 4 timed laps to set their lap time. Coriala, for example, has just set his first timed lap of a 141.5, immediately setting a benchmark for the others who are also driving in these wet conditions. That means Coriala at this time has got 3 more runs remaining to set a lap time, to improve that lap time he has got on the board right now. But of course, not everyone is gonna go out at the same time on track, because the later you go in the session, the more rubber there will be on track. In this case, it's kind of irrelevant, of course, because of the wet conditions, but I guess it is relevant in the way that the track is going to dry up more and more towards the end of the session, thus creating more grip. I think everyone at the moment is on the full wet tire. I'm actually going to have a quick look at that, but it does look like it. Yep, everyone is on the full wet tire. It will be interesting to keep an eye out and see whether someone will go for the intermediates and take a little bit of a gamble, perhaps. Of course, with this new Q system, there is a little bit of a risk going for the intermediate when nobody else has done it yet. Imagine the track not being, ready for inters. Then you have basically thrown away one of your 4 quali laps.
Yeah, exactly. If you screw up, you're gonna have a problem. And as I say that, I see someone going off. That's Thomas Coriala. He spins there right at the left-right section there.
Lafayette and Brooklands, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, on his outlap as well, so he will definitely continue on. But that is not the best way to start your outlap. Hey Felix, rFactor 2, the weather system. A lot of things have been spoken about it. What you can clearly see now is a dry line developing. Now, what is this dry line like? For example, when you drive on it and you do touch the wet side of the track a little bit, what happens? What can we expect when there is a drying line towards the end of the session.
Well, yeah, you can. With rFactor 2, it's so realistic. So when you have a dry line forming and you go off that dry line just by a meter or something, or even less than a meter, you're gonna notice it immediately in your pace and in your grip. For the most, the grip, you lose grip traction, and yeah, that's just not good for your time, and you can even spin if you fuck up really badly.
So it's important for the drivers to stick to that drying line once it becomes visible. Right now I'm having a look again at Coriala, who has gone off the track in the final turn. He keeps on going though, no problems there, but that's not the best start of course to the lap. Are there any dry lines right now on track? I'm having a little look on board with Coriala.
Yeah, you see it a little bit there in that corner here as well, but not really a very obvious line. Here you do, actually.
Yeah, and one thing which I would like to say as well to the viewers is that we have now got a multiple channel setting basically in YouTube. So we have Mike Partington who is streaming, but I think Georg Winter is also busy streaming. So we've basically got two cameramans, I believe. I think Georg is for the onboard settings, but I'm not entirely sure on that. But that is at least nice. It's a bit like Sky, you know, where you have press the red button for the onboard channel. Yeah, that's basically Georg's situation right now.
Of course, nog in an experimental state, as I should say, but it's cool to have, and if you like, you can just switch to it in the YouTube player. Just click the button and you can switch to the onboard cameras. Ooh, and there goes Thomas Coriala, spins it there at the end of Beckett and Beckett. And that's his second lap gone?
That was indeed his second attempt. Mitchie Hoyer in the meantime is the first guy to dip in the 139s. In the practice session the fastest lap I think was a 140.5, so the track is definitely developing right now, it is improving, and so the times are obviously dropping, but crucial is that, the crucial fact is that the track will be much drier towards the end of the session than it is right now. We've got 4 drivers who haven't set a lap time yet. Shatsy Pantelis, Luka Oslakovic, Severly, and the Angelis. The Angelis is right now out on track, and I believe Shatsy Pantelis has a back of the grid penalty, so it makes sense that he hasn't got a lap behind his name yet.
Yeah. Yeah, you see guys being really careful on their outlaps now. For example, Giuseppe Lino. You see him really careful on the throttle. If you see that throttle trace, I can see that, of course the viewers can't, but I can tell you, he is really cautious.
You've got to be, Felix, you've got to be so careful on that throttle, especially out of the slow corners. Of course there's a drying line, and of course it sometimes, you know, gets easier and easier, but when you are a centimeter of the drying line and you put too much power down, you are in problems, so to say. Norbert Leitner is currently on the lap. He is in P3, just completed the first sector. This is his second attempt of the day. He has gone a little bit quicker in the first sector, so that's good news for him, but he is he's yet to find 1.2 seconds to be close to Mitchie Hoyer. Currently Hoyer and Brewer are leading this pack, but of course some drivers haven't set the lap time just yet. But that is all yet to come, of course, with this new system.
Yeah.
The sun is out as well. The ambient temperature is 22 degrees centigrade, which is quite high. And it is fascinating then to see the track wet. I wouldn't yet count out rain during the race neither. You never know, it can happen. It's Silverstone, it's the UK. Last week there was still snow in the UK, and now it's 22 degrees centigrade, but we have got a wet track. Norbert Leitner completing his lap. Should be an improvement for him as he crosses the line. What's he going to do? A 141.1, as in the background someone is off. I
think that is
Leitner.
Yeah.
It was Leitner who went off there. Leitner then improving, but not by that much at all. He's still in third though, but 1.2 seconds off Mitchie Hoyer and Brewer. Adam McQuire is currently on the lap as well. In fact, he aborted his lap.
Yep.
That's interesting. McQuire was on for a good lap, but his attempt has gone to waste as well then. So Mitchie Hoyer is going to start his lap right now. Daniel Brewer is on the lap. Again, the track conditions have been improved since they started their lap previous time. So, expect quicker times. Having said that, Brewer does not improve for the first sector just yet. But of course, he's still got 2 sectors to go. Nobody's still on the inters. So everyone is still on the full wet tire. As Mitchie Hoyer spins on the exit of the loop. So that's another driver being called out by the rain here. If it stays like this, then the race start maybe in slightly damp conditions as well. There will be a drying line, of course, but that's it. Thomas Savely has just gone off as well. Lots of drivers making small errors here and there.
Yeah.
Daniel Brewer completing his lap though. He's gone purple in the middle sector. Could be an improvement for him. Is he challenging Hoyer? He does!
Ooh.
Goes up into first place. Only by a 10th though, Felix. Not a lot at all between these two.
No, especially with that drying line. It's gonna be still 7, almost 8 minutes left in this session. So times are bound to be going to be better. That's why I say that. Paschalis Georg just set a purple first sector time, and as I say that, he spins. So that's another lap for Georges.
Second attempt for him as well.
Yeah.
But haven't yet got a lap on the board. Bufumo neither. Bufumo has a 5 place grip penalty. So let's quickly see then. Van der Niet is 11th at the moment, 142.6. He has got 2 more timed laps to do, and he is on 1 right now. He has to improve.
Dan is on inters.
Danny van der Niet going out on inters now. This is gonna be something to watch.
Yeah, this will be his first lap on the inters as well. He's gone for a gamble, I guess, Felix. I mean, he's in last place. Maybe he knows it's just not working out for him at this moment. He has done 2 laps on the wet tire, but is in last place, as I said. So maybe he's going for a little bit of a different, different approach to it, and that might as well be good. I mean, if it's not working what you were doing before, then you may as well try something different, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it's gonna be interesting to see as well if he does a big improvement. Then guys will be switching to the inters pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, of course, that's the thing as well. If we all see now Danny van der Niet suddenly improving by 2 seconds, and the rest of the field knows as well, time for the inters. Let's have a look actually at van der Niet. I would be very interested to see how those inters operate around these track conditions. So let's go a little bit on board with him. Of course, Georg Winter is on the onboard, so I'll leave my Partington stream and join Georg Winter stream. No, that's a joke, of course. Drying line definitely visible right now. He breaks down for Village. Beautiful right-hander, which flows into a left-hander, the loop. Of course, this first sector being introduced in what was it? 2011. I'm gonna guess.
11, yes, I think so. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. The first sector of Danny van der Niet.
He's up.
He is up on his own time, and by pretty. By
you know what?
Quite a big margin.
That's the pace the leaders are doing.
Yeah. So
Inters is the best bet, you would think. And so Van der Niet has got that call right as the first driver. Everyone is still on full wet though, Felix. He is the only guy who is on the Inter. But they seem to be working for them. Look at this.
Yep.
Through Cops corner, downshift into second gear, but he looks stable as well. Pretty good lap. Magersberger's Chapel. Very high speed section, of course, as he throws it into there. A little bit off the curb there, but it's wet. You don't really want to be over those curbs too much. Then gets slowly on the power. It's very easy to lose it there. There's a big bump on the exit of Chapel. As what does Van der Niet do? 33.5, about 4 tenths down on Hoyer, who has gone purple in the middle sector. So Hoyer could improve as well as he comes towards his lap. He does improve towards the end of his lap, I was meant to say. 139.7. He jumps again ahead of Brewer by only a tenth. But what can Van der Niet do? He's certainly going to jump up if he nails this final corner, which is called Club.
Looking good so far. And here we go. He does a 39.5. That's provisional pole position for Danny van der Niet.
And now he is giving off a sign.
Yeah.
Now he is giving off a sign. time for the inters, and Hoyer has gone out on full wet again. Hoyer
Oh.
will be right now in the on track.
That's his.
If
No,
Hoyer
it's not
doesn't,
his level.
yeah, well, if Hoyer doesn't know right now that Van der Niet is on inters, he will be like, "What? How has he done that?" But I think he knows it. Yep,
Dan
he knows
is-
it.
Danny's done 11 laps, so he's got no more left.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was.
then he is done. Yeah, that was a good spot by cameraman Mike. That was the Van der Niet's final lap as well. And Hoyer Hoyer spotted it. He's going for
Okay.
inters.
Here we go,
Maybe
Danny
having an
Brewer.
engineer as well.
Going on
Pascal has
inters.
jumped into third. On the
Oh,
full
yeah.
wet tire as well. But all of these guys now have got, what is it? One more attempt, I think.
Yeah, most of the guys. Only Thomas Sadlerly does have 2 attempts left.
Wow. Savely looking good then, but Savely is currently out on the full wet as well.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Now we see a couple of guys going to the inters. Brewer in the pits with inters. Michi Hoyer on track with inters. And Timo Valkejärvi as well on inters on track. So yeah, let's see how these guys can do. And if Danny van der Niet can capitalize on that early switch to the intermediate tire.
Yeah, fingers of course, the truck still grips up right now. The drying line only is going to become wider and wider.
Yep.
But yeah, at the same time, these guys have now got one more attempt. They've set a lap time on the full wet tire. But, you know, don't get me wrong, Van der Niet. You are a great guy, but being realistic, you are the fastest guy in ACE at the moment. So those guys must have the mindset as well. If Van der Niet can put that thing up in first, I'm gonna have to beat him. But maybe they will go a little bit over aggressive with it as well. Remember, it's their first lap on this intermediate tire of the day maybe.
Yeah.
So they, you know, if they go a little bit over the limit, Van der Niet could be a big winner here. Really big. Good choice by Van der Niet going out on the inters, you know, as the first driver. Here we go then. Hoyer on inter, Georg is on inter, Brewer on inter, Coriala inter, McQuire intermediates, Valkejärvi intermediates. The rest is on full wet tires. As Mitchie Hoyer just started his lap going through Abbey. A fantastic first corner, almost flat out in these cars. Not in the wet conditions though, definitely a lift there for Hoyer. Village once again stick to that drying line of course, which he does so nicely. A little bit on the wet patch, but you know, that's alright. He can still get it to turn a little bit of a wiggle on the exit of the loop. And put the power down for the Wellington straight, usually a DRS zone, but I think DRS has been disabled. It has indeed been disabled for these wet conditions. Hoyer crossing the first sector mark then. Daniel Brewer is already in the second sector, but he is on his out lap, so Brewer yet to start his lap. He timed it well though. He's going to be one of the last guys to cross the line, Felix. What has Mitchie done in the first sector?
She has done a 26.9 in the first sector, which is a purple first sector by like 5/10, I believe.
Yeah, 5/10 on Van der Niet in the first sector alone. Hoyer looking good for sure.
Yep. Now coming through Maggots Baggots. There we go. Coming up to that second sector mark. Let's see what he did in that sector. I think it's going to be a purple one again. Yes, it is a 42.1. Wow. That's more than a second quicker than what Van der Niet did in that second sector. So yeah, this is going to be looking to be a very good lap, unless he makes a big mistake here in this last section.
Exactly, he's currently 2 seconds up on Van der Niet. Could see a 36 even if he, you know, makes a really nice final sector stick.
Looks good, coming to the line now. And it is a 37.573 for Mitchie Hoyer.
That's interesting. I think he must have made a mistake in the final sector. As Valkejärvi jumps up to second, 138.9. These guys are obviously starting to roll in those tires. Brewer has gone purple in the meantime for sector 1-2. That's quicker than Hoyer. Paschalis is done, by the way. Paschalis has made a mistake, I think, on his lap.
Yeah, I think so.
He couldn't get a lap in then on those inter tires, which are surely faster. But I think crucially, Hoyer made a mistake somewhere in the final sector because he was only a 10th quicker than Van der Niet there.
Yes.
While he was at least half a second quicker before in every single second or sector split. Brewer then, the middle sector, what is he going to do? Needs to be aiming at the 46.1. He does a 46.6 though,
Oh, yeah,
leaving half a second on the table. but he already gained to 10, so it's all about his final sector. Remember that Hoyer didn't have the best final sector. He still is in for the race, for pole position, to be honest. Club then needs to be stable on the power, get as early on it as possible, though Lino in the meantime has jumped up into third place. What can Daniel Brewer do? Can he challenge for pole position? He cannot, but only by 800ths of a second. But it is
really
so close between those two. De Angelis behind that, coming across the line for Riano, up into 9th, and De Angelis taking that again in 9th.
Yeah, Maguire did lose quite a lot of positions there in that last couple of stages here in qualifying. I don't think he did a lap on those inters as well.
Not what I expected, to be honest, from Maguire.
No, he did very well last race, finishing in second, I believe. Did he?
Yeah, Maguire is a great talent, definitely. But because he is a talent, and because he is a rookie and this is like fifth race,
yeah,
he has got things to learn from as well, and this is one of them, I guess.
Yes, for sure.
But not only Maguire, we can bang on Maguire, but honestly, a lot of drivers have made a mistake in their final lap, which was their only lap they would get on the Inter. For example, Paschalis Gerges. I mean, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be happy with his quali performance. I really think that he expected and he wanted to be further up the grid. But anything can happen, especially when we consider that the race will be starting from damp conditions. But over the course of the race, of course, the track is going to dry. Oh, is it raining? It suddenly got really dark.
It suddenly got really dark. Maybe the weather server going a bit weird, but...
Imagine if it goes raining now again. I'm sure those drivers would go crazy. In fact,
it seems to be
spinning.
People going off track. Georg is spinning on those intermediate tires, and I don't know if this is the rFactor doing a bit of weird stuff now, or
no, it's
just raining.
Fuel tank probably as well.
Yeah, probably.
And then, of course, this is what we talked about before. With a full tank right now, you pick up more understeer. That means you go off the ideal racing line a little bit. It means you go onto the wet part of the track, and even with the inters, you are exactly gone.
Yep.
Ooh, Shatsi Pantelis just took out De Angelis almost.
Yeah, very tricky conditions.
Immediately apologizes. Yeah, go ahead, Felix.
Very tricky conditions here on the on the track now.
Yeah, and what I wanted to say, of course, these are the conditions we are most likely going to start the race with as well. And Van der Niet was the big boss, so to say, in quali, by having the balls to go on the inters first. That took, I think that played out for him really well. He can be extremely happy to be in 5th right now, and I think it's all down to him making that right choice and putting in a good lap on those inters.
Yeah.
But imagine doing that in the race as well. Imagine going for the slicks while it is the exact right time to do it, and imagine going on the slicks when it's not. Then you have a problem.
Yeah, for sure.
Mike, have we got the standings by the way, or can you show them on screen? Can you show the standings on stream? Okay, well that's perfect, because we haven't yet talked about the standings, I guess, Felix. I guess we'll have a look at the Drivers' Championship. Mitchie Hoyer is leading that by 4 points over Alvaro Torres. Well, Alvaro Torres has not allocated for this race, as I believe that we have the wrong standings. That's okay. But yeah, Torres being in second in the championship, 4 points behind Hoyer. And he is not in, he hasn't allocated. I honestly don't really know why. But De Angelis is in the car of Torres. Partington in third. Well, we all know what happened to Partington. He has jumped up to WC, but in the championship it's a clear battle between Hoyer and Torres. They are 20 points ahead of P3. Paschalis could do a good job today. 37 points in the championship, 25 down on Hoyer. But if he does well today, then maybe he can somehow mix himself up in that battle for the top 3 for the drivers championship. The teams championship, Avid Chronic Racing leading that one by 99 points over Netrex, who has got 70 points, and Go Speed being in third there with about 39 points. But of course, over the course of the race, we'll sometimes talk about the championship standings, I'm sure, depending on how the situation looks. But currently it's looking sunny and bright for Hoyer, that's for sure. Brewer, by the way, in 10th in the championship, 17 points, but Brewer hasn't been able to attend all the races, and yeah, that's why he is that low down. But today he has promised to have good pace, and to be honest, he is the only guy who has been close to Hoyer so far.
Yep, he's going to be one to watch in the race. And is it just the live timing being a bit buggy, or is Adam Maguire out on the medium tires? Yeah, he is out on the medium tires, spinning all over the place.
Yeah, that's not the right time.
It's maybe a little too soon, Adam.
Well, to be honest, Brewer has gone out as well, and Parker Yarv has gone out on the mediums as well.
Well,
yeah, the thing is, the drying line may be dry enough for those slicks, but with the slicks, if you are a millimeter off that line, bye-bye. I would, honestly, not take that risk. It would take big balls.
Yeah, very, very big. But hey, maybe we see, like you said earlier, Danny van der Niet, who has not a lot to lose. Just go for it.
Yeah, why not? Ooh, Coriala and Brewer having a major accident.
Yeah.
And a lot of drivers still being caught out though. Farke Jarvi is still driving on the medium, but he has gone back into the pit lane. So most drives will be on inters, but what they may be thinking as well is, you know, with 5 minutes to go, I can almost drive on the slick tire. That's what they will be thinking, you know. Maybe the drying line isn't big enough to really make use of it right now. But perhaps if there are 16 cars on track who are all doing laps, that drying line is going to be more significant, of course. Towards the end again, in the race we'll have a formation lap which will dry up the track even more. Maybe it will be just about enough, or maybe just about time to, you know, be on that slick tire and save a pit stop. They are looking for that limit. Where is it though?
Yeah. Gonna be interesting to see as well. Don't know if a lot of these guys did practice wet conditions.
Yeah, that's one thing as well. You know, how will the tires last? How, you know, what is the tire length of the intermediate tire? What is the tire length of the wet tire? Those are all questions which will be answered this race, of course. For example, I believe that for sure the wet tire has got quite a bit of degradation, especially around a track like this. The tire degradation is quite high anyway because it's Silverstone and with all the high-speed corners. Even though, you know, we've got the medium and hard compound, which are the hardest compounds available, there is still quite a lot of tire wear, of course.
Yeah. Most guys now on the intermediate tire again.
Yeah. Only Oslakovic is on the full wet. But honestly, why would you be on the full wet right now? You have seen in quali it isn't quick enough. It is 2 seconds a lap slower at least.
Yeah. Well, maybe he just likes the safety, but
yeah, that could be.
It's definitely not the fastest choice of the tires.
Yeah, look at Paschalis being all over the back of Oslakovic, who is on that full wet tire then. Of course DRS will be enabled. They have the boost setting, of course. But Paschalis now, of course, this is as well something. When you have to do the overtaking, you're gonna have to go on the wet line. At least one of the two drivers has got to go on the wet line.
Yeah,
oh boy.
A lot of twitching there. With Paschalis and Oslakovic going out of the Maggots and Beckett's complex.
So just 2 more minutes to go in this warm-up session, and we'll advance to the race. Saying it with a nice Alonso accent there. Not a lot of drivers have put a time yet on the board, probably experimenting a little bit as well with the tire choices and whatnot. The wing settings, of course, Park Vermeer has been enabled in quali. You can still adjust the front wing, the brake bias, and you name it, the steering lock, there it is. And then you see, Felix, you know, a little shower in the practice session, which was a session which we of course didn't broadcast, but while the server was up, there was just a little bit of a shower in the practice session, and you can see how long it takes to clear all of that water, especially the standing water around the racing line.
Yeah. Yeah, and for sure, it's absolutely not certain if it's gonna be dry in the race.
Maybe. Yeah, good point.
Maybe there's still some little shower in nearby range of the circuit, and I don't know if the engineers or drivers, if they have engineers, are watching that. Maybe that is something to take into account as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, having an engineer right now who is watching a radar helps a lot. Having said that, we have experienced that the plug-in, so to say, on the server, which runs the wet weather, isn't always extremely accurate. So for example, if it would rain in real time, real life, we would have the rain 30 minutes later, for example. That can all be a little bit of an effect as well. I'm having actually a look at the radar right now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, there is rain.
There is rain in the area, but
yep.
The question is it going to come over the circuit or not?
To be honest, I think there is right now a little bit of rain on the real time on the track. Not a lot though, just a little bit of a shower. And I just heard from Georg Winter, if you would like to see a little bit of a radar image, then you can switch to the onboard stream for a little while. Because he has a radar image available for you. Maybe Partington has it as well, not entirely sure though. But of course, I say it one more time, I remember you, we have got 2 channels right now, being, or 2 streamers right now streaming here. So we've got a multi-channel application, so to say, for YouTube. You can watch the onboard, and you can watch the trackside cameras, whichever you prefer. So we're going to the race then in 2 seconds is what our race director says. Or what the Angelis actually says. Angelis having a little bit of a problem, I think. But certainly we'll be jumping soon into the race. Luckily, I don't want to waste any more time. I want to see these drivers driving in these semi-wet conditions and then probably switching to slicks. Would be amazing if they switch to slicks and then 5 laps later it would rain again. Wouldn't surprise me though with the UK weather.
No, certainly not. Always unpredictable. Maybe not as unpredictable as it is in Brazil sometimes, or in Malaysia, but still.
Someone on the stream is saying, what's the other channel called? Basically, it's a multi-channel stream, which is streamed on this page. So when you go to the YouTube video, at the bottom right, I think you can switch to the other channel. Yep. And there is how you do that one. And I think we are getting ready, Felix, and I'm definitely looking forward to this one.
Yeah, for sure. Warm-up session now over, so drivers will be getting ready to get into full concentration mode. Get ready to do a very long race here around Silverstone and with quite tricky conditions.
Yeah, it will take a little bit longer. The Angelis has a little bit of a problem with the anti-cheat software. So he asked the race director, Dejan Kostadinov, whether he could exit and rejoin. So we're having a little bit of a delay, but the race director allows it. But of course, Hoyer will be starting from pole. But he is also the championship leader. Very close between Hoyer and Daniel Brewer. We said it before, that will be a battle probably developing in the race. I definitely do hope so. Because I remember last time round in Canada, Michi Hoyer took a relatively dominant victory, I would say. And I don't want to see any of that. I describe that race as a little bit of a, not the most action-packed race ever in FSR. Maybe we'll see some more action today. Who knows? Definitely, the rain is making it tricky for these drivers. It's definitely an additional value to the racers, not only to the racers but also to the spectators, of course. It's a little bit more of a technical side of the story. What's going to happen? Who is on which tire? When are you going to switch? So many questions which come up when it's starting to rain. And some drivers will like it, some won't. You have those typical rain drivers who always would like to drive in the rain, and some absolutely hate it and they want to stick to a dry race.
Yeah, well, just a matter of personal preference, of course.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, in the rain conditions, of course, let's be honest, it is quite a bit more difficult to control the car. It's easier to get too early on the throttle, spin the car around.
Yeah.
But we are getting ready for the race. 52 laps around Silverstone, just like we'll see tomorrow in WC. In Pro, we will see 40. Out of the top of my head, it's probably wrong.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more.
44 then? 40 or 44?
Something around the 40 mark.
Okay, well, brilliant. There we have that one. Imagine it raining now again in the formation lap.
Oh, that will be... Yeah.
Yeah, the scenes will be real. Oh, you're getting off the line. Oh, and by the way, this is something we should have talked about earlier, Felix. What if you are right now on the wets or the left side of the track and you are standing on the dry line for the start? Imagine being on the right.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the people who are on the right side of the track, left for the spectators, will have a big problem getting off the line. I really think so.
Yeah, I don't... Pole position is on the left side, right?
Yes, pole position has the advantage of the dry line.
Yeah, so Daniel Brewer in second place.
Honestly, I could see Valkjarvi jumping Brewer. Not because I don't have faith in Brewer, but it's going to be so hard to get traction out of the wet side of the track there. And a lot of people saying as well, be careful guys, and definitely be careful. We don't want to have any incidents, even though the rain makes it more tricky, even though the rain makes it a bit more harder. Perhaps you have to execute some moves then with a little bit more caution, when you say so. Sky is looking nice and bright all of a sudden again. A few clouds here and there, but not a lot at all. It looks like the typical sunny day. But that can all change with the wink of an eye, as we know the UK weather. Last week I said before there was still snow in the UK even. Now we have a wet track with a blue sky hanging over it. Georg Pantelis will be the last guy to line up on the grid. He is in 16th place, so only 16 cars in this race today, which isn't all that much. We have seen plenty of races, and I think that's the standard of. We have seen plenty of races with 20 plus drivers.
Yeah.
But here we go. Hoyer coming through Club, and onto the new. Well, new. It isn't all that new anymore, but it's the new layout, of course. The main straight, start-finish straight. Brewer lines it up then on that left hand side for the spectators, on the right hand side for him. Hoyer on the right hand side as Lino lined himself a little bit up, a little bit too much forwards. And we are waiting then for the lights to come on. All cars are lined up right now. Saturday, the 7th of May, the 5th round of the 2015 ACE Championship is underway now, with Hoyer being off the line relatively well. Indeed, The guys on the right hand side of the track are getting a really poor start, so has Timo Valkjärvi though. And Brewer still in second as they go into turn 1. Not many incidents so far, in fact, not a single one. Good to see a fantastic start from Hoyer.
Somebody spinning there in the back.
That's Lino. Lino has gone off. Luckily didn't take anyone else with him, and there's some carnage in Village, I believe. But most people keep it straight. That is very good to see. Hoyer leading at the end of the first sector. Brewer following him. Brewer didn't have a good start at all, but neither did Valkjärvi have. Really interesting. Valkjärvi could have punished him there. Scorialla goes on the inside of Van der Niet. Scorialla jumping up into P4, and Van der Niet immediately losing another position to Paschalis Gergits. So he gets the motor down into 6th place. Still, most cars keeping it safe and sound, nice and straight, which is the way we would like to see it. But Fummel must have made a mistake as well, since he dropped behind Lino.
I think he spun as well. Relatively clean start here in Silverstone, especially in these conditions. A couple of spins, but no damage for any cars, at least not visible for us.
It's sometimes remarkable to see Felix when there's a dry race and there is a massive crash, and then suddenly in a wet race where you expect, or there's a higher chance of major carnage as well, there isn't any kind of carnage really. Just a few cars having a spin off. For example, Lino was in a good position as Scorialla spins off. That's the first guy being so to say caught out by the track conditions.
Leitner making a move there. On the right side of Ruud Heestebeek, coming through Club now, still alongside each other. Coming through turn 1, is he going to be able? No, he backs out of it. Oh, there's somebody spin around. Valkjärvi.
Valkjärvi into the first corner. Another guy will get caught out in the first lap already, was starting off the second lap. He's going to jump behind, well, he cannot rejoin the track yet.
Yeah, what happened with him?
Ooh, Scorialla again spinning.
Again.
Scorialla not having a good day so far. Valkjärvi all the way in the penultimate place. Hoyer and Brewer being separated by 1.5 seconds. Paschalis then now in clean air in 3rd place. He will be happy after that disappointing quality session. He's already up into P3. Clean air in front of him. He can now focus on having a good race. The gap already though is up to 6 seconds to the leader. Van der Niet behind that in P4 then, as he is being pressured by Maguire. Maguire having an absolutely blistering start.
Yeah.
I think coming from 12th or 11th right now up into P5 and pressuring Denny Van der Niet.
Here we go, we gotta be careful here. Don't be too aggressive when go off that dry line. It's very easy to spin here. Now in the slipstream, maybe using some boost, I don't think so.
I can't make it yet stick. 2 retirements already. George Schatzipantelis was the first retirement. He has got suspension damage. I'm not even sure whether Schatzipantelis has finished a single race over the course of this season. Never mind that. Scorialla also DNF'd. So 2 retirements right now. Scorialla definitely being the loser of the start, I would say.
Yeah, for sure.
Was up into P4 for a little while, I think, or P5, something like that.
Danny Van der Niet going very right through turn 1. Now has got to defend on that wet line.
Yeah.
Coming.
Yeah.
Here we go. Adam Maguire. Maybe around the outside. He's gonna try it, but that's not going to work.
No, it's the wet part of the track as well. I was surprised to see Van der Niet defending, to be honest, because by defending you go on the inside and go on the wet part of the track, as we can now clearly see that the dry line is appearing as Hoyer is off.
Hoyer is off the track.
The race has gone off. Brewer taking the lead and Hoyer will be rejoining. Be careful when rejoining though. He's side by side with Heestebeek in Laffield.
Oh.
What has happened there, Felix? If you could get the replay for us quickly. Hoyer is still battling, so please hang on with us. Hoyer slot in between Heestebeek and Leitner.
Hoyer
That's the first mistake I see from Hoyer, by the way. Yeah, go ahead.
Hoyer just seems to brake a little too late, then goes onto the wet line and all grip is lost then. And then, goes onto the grass and spins the car around and, loses his very good lead in front of Paschalis Gergis and Danny Van der Niet. So, that's very unfortunate there for Michi Hoyer. Now back in 6th position already.
Yeah, and that is a bit rare, to be honest. I haven't seen Hoyer making such a mistake. Trying to dig in my memory, which isn't the best, but yeah, I don't think I've seen a mistake from him this season, hence why he's leading the championship. And this is great news for someone like Paschalis Gergis. I
Yeah.
said it before in qualifying as well, if he has a good race, he could perhaps mix himself in the battle between the top 3 drivers of the World Drivers, or sorry, the ACE Drivers Championship, which is between Hoyer, Torres, and if he finishes well in the points, Gergis, it could as well be him. He could be the winner, to be honest, in the Drivers Championship. Because
He could
Torres
be.
isn't here, and Hoyer is right now about 4 places behind him. But of course, the race isn't finished yet. Only lap 4 out of 52 right now.
Yeah. Lots of laps remaining for Michio.
Hoyer again off! He is again off, same place! Oh, this is drama for the German. Oh, you will be furious inside that cockpit.
Yeah.
The exact same mistake, I think, man.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
It is. It is. This time he could, he could perhaps blame the dirty air a little bit now, but first time he didn't have anything to blame. But still, come on.
I don't think or it is like a brake failure, but that would be really weird in this stage of the race.
If it's a brake failure though, you would also expect it in the other corners, which
Yeah.
is definitely not the case. Having said
Very
that
weird.
though, he doesn't seem to be the quickest guy on track at the moment. I mean, Valeriano behind that is also catching him slightly. Valeriano in fact battling with Savely a bit. Battle for P8. Brewer still leading though, he's opening up another lap. The gap between him and Gergis is 3.5 seconds. But Gergis is quicker at the moment than Daniel Brewer by about 2/10 per lap. Fascinating stuff here as Gergis is closing up on the leader, which is good. I see someone down the start-finish straight, which was Leitner, I believe, cooling his tires already, going on the wet part of the track. We may see more drivers doing that. Yes, indeed. Falk Jarvi is doing the exact same. So maybe these tires are suffering from overheating as well, maybe extensive wear. And thanks to that, maybe we will see some drivers pitting in the next couple of laps already. Yes, Brewer is off in
our
the
leader.
same place again. Unbelievable.
What is that corner, man?
The
Love.
corner has been,
Just doomed, I think.
doomed. That is the word I'm looking for. Paschalis cooling his tires, Brewer cooling his tires,
Yeah, a lot of
everyone
guys
again
here.
cooling his
Van der
tires
Niet-
now. Holy.
No, Van der Niet is staying on the racing line.
Ah, brilliant. This is fantastic stuff. Paschalis now in the lead, the Greek driver. Who would have thought that after the start of this race? Paschalis coming from 6th, now being in 1st, but seeing how the race has gone, Felix, I am not sure of anything anymore.
No, definitely
Absolutely
not.
not. Here again cooling those tires. Oh man. I'm getting a smile on my face by seeing this.
Very
Van der
exciting.
Niet also in P3. You've got to give credit right now to
Yeah,
Van der Niet as well.
Holding
He's
on there with quite some pressure from behind from Adam McGuire, but he hasn't been able to get past so far.
I'm gonna have a look at the tires of Brewer as well. I don't see a major flat spot on the fronts, to be honest, at the moment. At Hoyer, neither. So they haven't really flat spotted their tires in that move, maybe slightly and a little bit. Mike said, oh, Hoyer again! Hoyer spins on the final corner.
Oh well, and
Oh,
we have someone in the pits.
Yeah,
I think
Savely
it's
is pitting.
Savely. Yep.
it's hard to keep up with everything that's going on right now. Savely in the pit lane. What tires will he be
he
fitting?
He-
Intermediate.
yeah. Okay, so he doesn't take the gamble so far, and somebody spins there. Don't know who that exactly is. I think it's Lino.
Phew. Again, hoping to finish off my story right now before spinning off driver interrupts. Van der Niet in P3. Give credit to this guy. He has had a great day so far. I mean, making the right choice in quali, but now also in the race. Doing an absolute fabulous job being in P3. And he has been keeping Adam McGuire behind him as well for the whole race so far.
Yeah.
Really credit to Van der Niet. He has sustained major pressure from McGuire so far. Of course, props to McGuire as well. He keeps that car on track while starting from 11 for 12. While so many people are making mistakes here and there. Crazy race so far. But Hoyer needs to make sure, if he wants to move up the field, at least, start with keeping it on track, so to say. Of course, it's maybe easier said than done, don't get me wrong.
Steadily is on the hard tires, and he's on the cross. Yep. Thomas Steadily in last place at the moment, and he's on the hard tire. Or my live timing and game is being a bit laggy, but
Yeah, I'm colorblind, so I can't really see the difference between hard and intermediate. But he is
Oh,
done.
he
He
DNFs.
was on the hard.
Yep.
Of course, yeah.
the DNFs.
Okay, that is
he-
one way of doing it.
Yeah.
I'm on the wrong tire, so I'm just gonna park my car and DNF. Okay. Van der Niet, or sorry, Savely the third retirement of the day then. Heestebeek in 5th right now. I think Heestebeek has always been a little bit of that quiet guy in quali especially, but then he opens up. Oh, having said that, oh, what a save! What a save by Heestebeek! Christ, I'm losing
Wow.
my mind here in this race. Just a little bit too greedy with that power, and then you see that torque of the modern spec car kicking in. Bwah, nice save though by Heestebeek. But I wanted to say, he claws a little bit in that race always back, the positions he loses by not qualifying well. It's always a little bit of that quiet force in quali, which, you know, becomes a machine in the race, so to say, and moves up all kind of spots and, you know, takes advantage of
But
drivers who make
something with
mistakes.
Bufumo. See him dropping down the order. Bufumo is also having a lot of trouble with traction, and he is spinning all around the track now.
Yeah, slicks. Why slicks though? It's not time for it. Well, if you are on the dry line, it is. I honestly think the slicks are the quickest if you keep it on the dry line. But
Yeah, well,
yeah, it's so easy to get off that dry line by a millimeter, and then you have a problem.
yeah, for sure. It's so tricky.
Ah, it has been a hot day in the Netherlands, Felix, but this only makes me, heat up more. Hoyer
Yeah.
on the back of Valeriano, battle for P7. Take us through it, Felix, and take us through how Hoyer approaches the corners right now, and see if he loses the rear end often, or what could be wrong with Hoyer, so to say.
Yeah, at the moment, Cummins
Let's analyze it a
really
little bit if we
first
can.
sector, and
Yeah,
having
oversteer there.
a lot of oversteer there. Now, he's got to keep it on that dry line, of course. You get a good exit out of this corner. There may be an opportunity on the straight here. But a lot of wheel spin and oversteer there. And the exit, he gets a bit closer, but I don't think it's enough. No, certainly not to make a move up the inside there.
See how the dry line is becoming really wide, by the way, down that straight. Wellington straight it is at the exit or the end of the first sector, opening up the second sector. That, it makes me think a little bit, slicks or not. Is that a little
Yeah.
bit of a thought? But the spray is also gone, of course, behind the cars with the drying line.
Yeah, it's gonna be very tricky, but there's gonna be somebody who's got to be the first one to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, we have
Um,
seen Savely doing it, and
Yeah, well,
Bufumo.
yeah.
Shall we check the times from Bufumo a little bit? 28.3 first sector compared to 27.7 from Gerges. So 6/10 slower in the first sector on the dry tire. I'll keep an eye out on Bufumo actually. Pascal is still leading though. Actually, Pascal is looking really strong.
Yeah.
He is,
so far.
wow, 1.5 seconds quicker per lap as Hoyer is pitting. Pascalis is 1.5 seconds quicker per lap at the moment than Daniel Brewer, who's in second. That gap has opened up to 4.2 seconds at this time. Pascalis needs to stay calm though. What does Hoyer do?
He seems to stay on the intermediate, but maybe a bit of lag or delay
He's on
coming in
slicks.
there.
Yeah, he's on slicks.
Okay, my game is not updating these slicks tires.
On the harder tire, harder compound for him. Fokke Jarvi slicks, Lino mediums, so also slicks. Oslakovic hard, also slicks.
Oh yeah.
And now
Really
Hoyer is
very
behind the
interesting.
Vogel, who's also on slicks.
Yeah,
No
here we
DRS
go,
for
Hoyer.
Hoyer. Oh, he's on the
Coming
wet, he's on the
on
wet.
the
Be careful,
inside.
be careful on the braking.
He seems to keep it together.
There was one wheel on the wet line while braking. It's so easy to lock it then and just go straight on like he has done twice before.
Yeah.
And now, when are the guys going to pit? Brewer has got his pit light on, so has Pascalis. So those guys are deciding it's time. It's time to go on those slick tires, but Paschalis decides it's maybe not time. They maybe aren't so sure themselves either. Paschalis, puts the ball in Daniel Brewer's park though by saying, "You pit first, I will respond to whatever you will be doing." As Brewer does pit then, coming in from second place.
Let's see what he will be doing. Hoyer putting a purple second sector time, so he's going to be pretty quick on track now. But let's see, Brewer.
Slicks. No, those are intermediates. Or is that the delay from my side?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it is a delay. Yeah, that is a slick tire. Brewer on the hards. And has Hoyer gone past Bufumu? Yes, of course,
Yes.
we saw that. And has he created the gap? Yes, definitely. That gap is 3 seconds immediately.
That's pretty a big gap.
Yeah, that is remarkable, to be honest. In one lap, pulling away 3 seconds on the car behind you. But Hoyer knows the importance of these laps right now as well.
Oh, Bufumo spins.
Yep, gone too deep into village. And Van der Niet is still in second and having that train behind him, but Van der Niet is like the Titanic. He's just so wide, so big, nobody can get past. Not even Adam McQuire.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course DRS has been disabled as well. It doesn't make life easier for Adam.
Yeah, and of course the tricky wet conditions. If you go off the line, you're gonna be in danger, as I would say. But yeah, it's.
Oh, guess who stays out?
Paschalis
Yeah.
stays out
Oh, is
again.
that the right choice? 44-4 middle sector for Paschalis. Van der Niet into the pit lane. See, Paschalis lost a second in the middle sector alone. He's gonna have to come in. He is losing his lead right now to Brewer. Very, very much so.
Yeah. Maybe not the best strategy call there from Conic Racing. But we're
4.5
gonna have
was
to
the gap.
see. Yeah.
He's got 4.5 seconds. Oh, Van der Niet overshooting his pit box. Now it's Leitner. Yep, Leitner goes by. Oh, that's
very, very disappointing to see.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
so. And then you see, for the whole first stint, you have been driving the race of your life, so to say. Of course, not literally, but using it as a metaphor. And then, yeah, it gets all thrown away in the pit lane. He is rejoined behind Leitner, behind Hoyer. He's up into P8 at the moment. Of course, still a few guys are yet to pit. But presume that McQuire will be close with Leitner when he is going to pit. And Paschalis will be close to Brewer when he's going to pit. Hoyer is right now the fastest guy on track, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah, Brewer again gaining 6 tenths in the first sector on Paschalis.
Gonna be.
Paschalis has to pit. Come on, you have to pit now.
You have to come in and let's see if he does so.
He has to.
Here we go.
He
Yes,
can't stay out
does.
longer, yeah.
He does.
Lino retired. Suspension damage. Lino has gone off then. Yep, in Abbey. Exit of Abbey. Gone off. Smashed into the wall.
Yep.
His race over. 4th retirement. 12 more
Yep.
drivers left.
Burgess. The pits. I think it's the hard tire. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, and if... where is Brewer? Brewer comes across the start-finish straight right now.
Gonna be pretty close.
I would say so. McQuire is in there still as well, of course. McQuire stays out. So has
well,
Heestebeek.
he's in front. He's still in front.
That is a good job, actually. I didn't expect that much of a gap still. But there we go. Paschalis being second right now, effectively in first place. But he has got McQuire in front of him on intermediates. But it will take some time probably for Paschalis to adjust to these tires again after being on the inters. Here comes...
Oh, Maguire just lets him past.
That's him past. Okay.
Maybe
Wow.
some team... oh,
Maguire-
and he spins! Oh, that's really, really, really unfortunate for Maguire. Doing so great staying out, but maybe a little bit too long on those intermediate tires. And yeah, effectively giving up that third spot.
Yeah, just I think braking too late, to be honest, for Brooklands. Being on the wet then, just like we saw with Hoyers. Brewer and Heestebeek have gone side by side through cops. And Brewer taking that. Beautiful. What I, wanted to say is that Paschalis firstly was in second, of course, still having to pass Maguire. That was not a problem. But then he had a nice buffer in between himself and Brewer. But now that buffer is gone, because Brewer has gone by Ace to Bake again. So yeah, the gap is now only 1.7 after it was about 4.5 before. Remember though that of course Paschalis will have the fresher tires compared to Daniel Brewer. That won't be a surprise.
Yeah, yeah.
So Maguire coming in now, that's a wise decision. Haystabeek is still staying out on those inters. There's a few clouds are again starting to appear around the track. I don't expect any kind of rain though, but who knows. Maybe I'm wrong. Valeriano in 4th, he is still running. Hoyer in 5th though, closing up rapidly on the back of the Italian driver. In front of that it's De Angelis who has pitted and has been lapped as well as he goes off the racing line and he spins. Parking the car there safely. He's going to retire in fact. He may be reaching out for the escape button. No, he doesn't.
Oh.
Just a break, take a drink of tea I guess. And then go again.
Michi Hoyer again up into P4, so he's moving up some spots. But yeah, of course he has lost a lot of places in the start of this race.
He's pushing very hard though. He's 9/10 faster, for example, than Daniel Brewer on the last lap. But of course Brewer was battling, so maybe it's not a relevant comparison. Brewer is closing the gap to Paschalis Gerges though. Excuse me, getting mixed up with the surnames. So Paschalis needs to look in that mirror and check for that green origin car. It's again getting darker now, by the way. It's getting very dark.
Actually, it is.
Ambient temperature has dropped down to 21 degrees. Of course, it's cooling down a little bit in the UK. That is not a surprise. And there's a bit of a battle for 5th place between Valeriano van der Niet and Leitner. Leitner being on the medium tire, Van der Niet I think on the hard slicks, and Valeriano is on the slicks as well. Yeah, I think so.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, my game is a bit bugged and I believe it's the same for our streamers. I think both of the guys have some problems.
Wait, Valeriano can't be on inters because on slicks he hasn't pitted yet.
Oh,
I think I may have a bug then as well. Doesn't matter. Valeriano getting passed here perhaps by Van der Niet. Van der Niet is on the wet part. And he comes onto the dry part now and makes a move stick. And in the background, Leitner spins off.
Oh yeah. Onto the grass, same spot where Hoyer span, where Maguire span.
Lots of drivers being caught out there.
Lots of drivers, yeah.
That's the corner where, most drivers have made their mistakes. It is tricky though, to be honest, because you take a lot of speed into there and the way you approach the corner, you don't really take the first apex, you take the second apex to open up the next corner, which is at the right-hander a little bit more. So yeah, it is difficult to get your braking always right for there. And in the dry it doesn't really matter, but it does matter in the wet, because if you go too much of the line, then you may find your Waterloo. And it is only lap 14 of this race which just has been opened up, as Haystabeek comes into the pit for the first time. I expect Valeriano to come in pretty soon then as well. He stays out for now though, that's interesting. Still on those intermediate tires, they must be absolutely cooking.
Yeah.
Talking about cooking, tomorrow we will see David Cook in action.
Haystabeek going to the medium
Pro Championship.
Medium tire.
He goes to the medium indeed, yeah. David Cook leading the Pro Championship, by the way, I believe, but as I said, that is all left on the table for tomorrow, which won't show any kind of rain, at least not in Pro, maybe in the World Championship. Would be the first rain race in the World Championship as well. Second rain race for Ace, I said it in the introduction as well. And yeah, only Ace has then been affected by rain so far, and twice already.
Yeah. Maguire in the pits as well, by the way. He's now on the hard tire, and it shows hard tire for me now, so... Maguire ready for his second stop, I believe. Yeah.
Actually, I believe that leaders are on inters.
Are they really?
Well, check the. It may be again because I'm colorblind or whatever, or I'm stupid, but Pascales, look at the onboard and then switch to Maguire. I think Maguire's compound is slightly darker.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I really don't know.
It's so hard to see because the surface of the tire from Pascales, for example, looks slick as Valkyarvi just made a move, I think. Or Valeriano just pitted. I think Valeriano just pitted. Yeah, see, most people are still on Inter. See? Sorry about that then. That is completely our mistake. We have been acting like a fool then for the whole second stint then. Excuse me about that, but it was really hard to see as well.
Yeah,
Once again, apologies on our side. Then the first guy to go on the hards is Adam.
Yeah, then he really is the first one on the hard tire. And Ruud Heusebeek is the top guy in P5 in P5 on the medium tires at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been getting it wrong all the time for now. But yeah, Pascales, Georges, Daniel Brewer, and Michi Hoyer are and Danny van Liet as well are all still on the intermediate tire.
The gap for the lead has stabilized somewhat. 1.8 seconds is the gap. Pascales in fact being 4/10 quicker than Brewer in the middle sector alone on this lap. So maybe trying to create a little bit more of a gap. You may not be entirely confident, but remember as well as the lightner goes off.
Oh,
Go in
yep.
Engelsberg's Chapel.
on that that medium tire. Still very tricky.
Has to go on the wet patch. So there's currently a shower we are hearing 5 kilometers away from the track, Felix.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it has been getting darker on the server a few minutes ago already, so who knows, maybe we'll see another shower. As I think Valkyarvi is in, yep. He's gonna go for the dry.
Yeah, we've still got quite some time to go, not even on the halfway mark yet, so
Yeah, medium for Timu.
anything can still happen.
A Brewer dropped far behind Gerges right now, 3 seconds. Must have made a mistake somewhere because Pascales suddenly opened up the gap by 1.3 seconds. Great job from Pascales, who has been driving a really solid race so far. May not have had the best qualifying performance ever, I'm definitely going to admit that, and probably he will do so himself too, but you will also notice right now that it's going extremely well for him in this race. But you said it before, Felix, we aren't even halfway, it's only lap 16 out of 52.
So Maguire, flying on his new hard tire, just did a 1:39.2. Fastest time so far, and that's on a slick tire. So is it going to be time?
Yep, the leaders definitely think so.
Yeah, Pascales coming in.
Yeah, both are in, Pascales and Brewer.
Hoyer as well, or no? Oh well. Yeah, Hoyer as well. So I think it's going to be a busy pit lane.
Look at Pascales, by the way, not really wanting to get on the on the wet part of the pit lane, trying to stay on the dry side. That's all the technical aspect coming into play as well. Brewer has gone on the mediums.
Yeah, Pascales on the hard.
Is on the hard. Okay, so different strategies between those two again.
Hoyer
Brewer
on the
wants
medium.
to lead this race again. And you said it, Michi Hoyer has gone on the medium then. Brewer back up into P3, but yet to pit as Adam Maguire has spun, we're hearing. And lost his front wing, that's a major impact I think.
That's a big hit. Oh yeah, on the exit, coming onto the back straight, just lost it under power
There
and
we go.
into the wall.
I think that is the prime example of slick tires, dry tires, and the wet track and being off the dry line.
Yep.
And then I think he didn't realize he lost his front wing, and in cops he went very quick in there, but of course there's no downforce being generated
No.
and he went off. And there's a little bit of suspension damage most likely as well. And he has got a penalty, I think. It says black flag on his wheel, for example, for some reason.
He has. I don't know. I don't see black flag, but
Really?
no, but I don't see the pit lane marker as well. Oh, and did he brake in time there for the pit lane?
Yes, I think just about.
Well, let's see
Whoa.
his pit stop.
What a race.
Seems to be a long pit stop, of course, of that front wings change as well. No, I don't think he did have a stop and go penalty, but yeah, we will have to see. Yeah, very unfortunate for Adam Maguire. Was looking for
Yeah.
good points here.
It still
in
says
Silverstone.
black flag for me.
Well.
Wait, I'm gonna check his pit stop, the previous one, not the last one, but the one before that. Let me quickly check.
So our leaders now coming to their first flying laps on the slick tires. Brewer, of course, on the faster tire, and he is 2.7 seconds behind the back of Pascal's judges. So let's see what Brewer can do. Will he be able to close that gap and maybe even get past judges in a lap or two? Well, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, and Felix, I have some news for you. It was indeed Maguire who went speeding into the pit lane on his second stop. So not the previous one,
yeah.
but the one before that. And hence why he has got at least a drive-through penalty. Could be a stop and go as well. Timo Valkejärvi applying some pressure right now on the back of Christian Bufumu for 7th place. And he is rather close behind Bufumu. Of course, Valkejärvi is on the medium. Is Bufumu still on Inter?
Yeah, he is still on the Inter tires, so he's gonna have a big disadvantage. But Valkejärvi
Not on the
having
wet,
to go
not
on the wet line. That's very tricky, Timo.
Yeah, if you now go on the wet line to overtake with the dry tire, you are gone. We have seen it with Maguire, who touched the wet part of the track slightly and spun. Van der Niet in from P3 now, finally going to make his stop for the dry tire. The slicks. Is he still on Inter? Is he still on Inter?
He's still on the Inter, yes.
Yes, okay, so that will be a dry tire for him then for the first time.
Yep,
Mediums.
medium.
Where does he rejoin?
I think that's going to be 6th, maybe 7th. No, 6th for sure. Christian Bufumu not even over start finish now.
Here comes Timo. Surely DRS should be enabled right now as well. Let's have a look at that actually while we watch this battle. Timo braking for the loop.
Oh,
Needs to get a good
Bufumu,
exit.
oh, and a big contact.
Respond.
Oh, and
And Timo
Timo as well.
Oh man.
Too much on the wet side and too eager on the power, and then he spins as well. And now he
Dodges.
loses even more time to Bufumu.
Wow. On the wet side, no traction at all. I
No.
guess a bit, bit of an unfortunate situation for Timo. With the car spinning in front of him, Bufumu coming away from that, I think safe and sound. No front wing end plates lost. Van der Niet is driving without a front wing and without a rear wing.
Oh dear. What happened there? Something must have really gone bad there.
Baggets. Too aggressive.
Yep.
And then absolutely lost it. Maguire has DNF'd in the meantime.
Oh yeah.
Not really a surprise there, to be honest, considering his problems. As Van der Niet is trying to make it back.
Yeah, well, please don't try it. Maybe he doesn't realize he doesn't have a rear wing, but After a couple of corners, you should be able to tell, I think.
Oh, Van der Niet came drifting into the pit lane, okay.
Now you've got to give it a little bit of a show, of course.
Definitely. Pascal is still leading, 2.5 seconds in front of Brewer. Hoyer 18.4 behind. I honestly do not see Hoyer in contention for the race victory. Hoyer is lapping in the one lap he did a 138.7, which is an amazing lap, and then the next lap he does a 140.3. So he misses the consistency. If he can consistently put in those quick lap times, those 138s, he may close that gap in time with still 32 laps to go, as the sun is out again, by the way. But with the way it's going right now, Hoyer is too inconsistent and cannot really close that gap. Brewer, however, on his turn is quite a lot faster, just gone fastest with a 138.0 being 1.2 seconds quicker than Pascalis. But remember, Pascalis is on the harder compound, and maybe it may only be a matter of time before the harder compound is quicker than the mediums. Having said that, I experienced myself, Felix, for testing that both medium and hard don't have a proper drop-off until about 50%, something like that.
Yeah.
And some drivers, may be so easy on their tires that they go below 50% for only the last 2 laps of their stint or so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hoyer spun.
Hoyer. Oh dear.
He did. Yep. And that's the inconsistency again. In the loop entry of it. What? Huh?
What happened?
That is setup related. That has to be setup related.
Let's see.
He must have too much balance on the front end of that car. He cannot keep the rear end in contact with the ground even on the dry line. Yeah. If you have such a pointy setup, then if you take too much speed into a corner, the rear end just starts to rotate too much and you lose it. As Leitner is off as well. Also the loop, same place as Hoyer.
Well, Brewer is now really pushing. Just did a 137.6. Again, quite a bit faster than Georges, and he is less than a second away from the back of Georges. Let's see what he can do. Coming to that straight here. Will he be going for it immediately, or will he be waiting just a little bit more? Make sure you brake in time here for this turn. We've seen quite a lot of people making big mistakes, and as I say that, Georges spins, and that is the lead given to Daniel Brewer. And Georges, and Brewer spins as well.
Oh wow, Brewer has spun on the action of the next corner. Pascal is taking it. May as well just win when you go by. He retakes the lead in the space of 50 meters. Unbelievable seats. Pascalis, then I want to have a replay, to be honest. Pascalis on the entry of Laffield, or is it Brugos? I think it's Laffield. Yeah. On the entry of Laffield, just a little bit too much to the left. Then you have one tire dipped on the wet part of the track and you spin. Brewer, also on the wet part.
Yeah, same thing.
Also
just
with
a bit too
one tire
much on
the wet part on the throttle, and boom, off you go. Man.
Wow.
And a flat spot for Brewer.
Quite a
for
big one.
Pascalis.
Oh.
Not really.
Getting really dark all of a sudden.
Yes, it does indeed get really dark again. You're right. And now Hoyer is again. See, Hoyer was then 24 seconds behind, and now it's again 17. So the situation is the same again.
Yeah, anything.
Pascal is still
really
leading from Brewer. The gap is back to 3 seconds. The gap to Hoyer, between Hoyer and Gerges, is again 17. Just like it was about 6 laps ago. So we have got the identical situation, because all of the 3 drivers have had the same mistake, or made the same mistake rather. What a race, honestly. We have only got 10 drivers left, which means every driver who finishes now gets a point.
Yeah, Van der Niet, after his very, very long pit stop, now on track again with the rear wing.
But it shows that it is, so hard to keep that car on track.
Yeah.
And for some, I believe it's more down to setup as well. For example, I really believe that Hoyer is running a setup which is so pointy and has the balance so much on the front end of the car that the rear end suddenly just can't keep up and it snaps. I remember Felix in the first couple of laps we were driving on board with Hoyer as well, and we noticed a big oversteer moment even in the second corner, which is a bit unusual.
Yeah.
Whereas you have Brewer and Paschalis who seem to be driving really stable, and then all of a sudden they both snap in the space of 10 seconds, 5 seconds even.
Yeah.
But at least they seem to be quite consistent also with the driving. Yes, they just made a mistake, but I guess they are so consistent that they make the same mistake, or well, a similar mistake at the same time almost. Yes,
Yep.
yes. Perfect description from you. The Fumu is off. It's like a lottery here. And he spins again because he's on the wet part. Cannot put the power down then.
Yep.
Man, oh man.
Oh, and Hoyer just put down the fastest lap.
Do you remember? Yeah, go ahead.
He's now showing the two guys in front how to keep it on track. Maybe just for now, but
Yeah, and be fast.
yeah.
1:37.5 first lap of the race, 2 tenths quicker than Daniel Brewer. Paschalis is in the 1:38.5, so about 8 tenths slower than Brewer. That gap is already down to 1.8 seconds. But what I wanted to say, Felix, maybe you remember it. I'm gonna have to dig in my memory. It was either Nürburgring 2007 or 2008. But there was this crazy race where it started to rain so badly, and I think there were 5 or 6 cars off into turn 1 in the gravel.
Oh yeah.
This race reminds me a little bit of that,
Yeah.
but
a
then
bit.
not for like one lap, because basically everyone spun or crashed in that first corner on one particular lap, or 2 I think. But here it's just for 24 laps long, people, make a mistake here and there. But I don't want to, make them look bad, because honestly, I doubt I would do better. I honestly doubt I would better than these guys. It is so hard to keep it on that racing line for 52 laps long and not be a centimeter off that line. Here we see another guy spinning in the background of the leaders. Who was that? It was P8, Bufumo again.
Bufumo again.
But to be honest, it should be easier and easier to keep it on track as well, because the track dries up. Track dries up, of course.
That, Brewer is really getting close again to the back of Georges. Now within a second, don't know if he has the RS.
I'm getting a message from the team boss of OFR, which is the team Brewer drives for. He is extremely delighted that Daniel Brewer has managed to lead a race for 30 meters. So that is the live response from the team manager of OFR. But seriously, that is you don't see those things a lot of times. That is a rare occasion, very rare.
Yeah, and lucky for Georges, for sure.
Yeah, lucky.
Well, yeah, if you can
Perhaps.
call it lucky.
Yeah, it is good fortunate, I guess.
Yeah.
I would call that the guy from you spins as well. At the end of the day, you make a mistake yourself, and you usually have only yourself to blame.
Oh, yes. Yellow flag somewhere. Somebody has spun around again.
Fumo again.
Oh god. The Fumo is not getting good traction at the moment on his.
Come on, Bufumo. He needs to keep it within that lighter grey area, not the dark part. If you can do that, maybe it will make a bit of a difference, and he won't spin as much.
Goes into the pits. Let's see if he can keep it together. Yeah, nicely.
Yeah, a lot of drivers are
Some
actually
time.
leaving so much margin as well with
Yeah.
activating the pit limiter, which is probably only wise, to be honest.
We're again in that first sector. You see that he has that a little bit more
Ooh,
speed
crash
in that
noise.
first sector.
I can't seem to find. Is it Bufumo? Bufumo in the pit lane?
Did he spin in the pit lane?
Yes.
Oh wow. Then I was too soon to say that it was all clear in the
Huh?
pit lane. Oh, huh? Going
Can
to
we-
his pit box and
Bufumo, yeah. Bufumo spinning on the pit entry. Then as he he wants to spin it around again, so he faces the right direction and he has to reverse it again. As Gurgis is
Brewer.
off!
Oh, no Brewer.
Oh my
also,
god!
they're both off.
They're both
happened?
off! What is going on here? We have the leaders again of the race spinning halfway through the
happened?
race.
Let's
and
see.
Brewer is actually parked doing
Oh,
nothing. Brewer is
whoa.
out! Hoyer
Yeah.
takes second now, and Hoyer has the lead inside of him again.
Oh
17
god.
seconds behind before. The gap is now just 2 seconds, I would say. Hoyer has that lead again in his side. And dear oh dear, what happened there?
Yeah, let's see. Pascal is just exiting the fast right-hander before Cops, don't know exactly the name, and just goes a little bit too much to the left onto that wet line, spins it around,
Oh my god.
and Brewer tries to
Oh my god.
go outside on the runoff area, but it's all wet there, of course, and maybe a bit too much, too much exciting there for Brewer, and then he spins it as well, goes into the wall, quite a hard hit, and I think he's got quite a lot of suspension damage from that, and he instantly retires after that. So, a lot happening again here.
What the... I'm not gonna say it, but... close, I'm really close.
Really, really close.
I am actually lost for words at the moment.
Yeah.
Basically, we saw the replay of Paschalis doing a Maguire. You remember Maguire spinning there as well?
Yeah.
However, Maguire hit the inside wall. Paschalis was basically stationary on track, so Brewer didn't see any other option than to go on the wet part. And yeah, you said it of course as well, but when you approach with that speed, you are on the slick tires, and there is no other choice than to go on the wet part. And it's so easy to lose it there.
It's unfortunate for Brewer. He could have gotten a podium, maybe even a win. But it's all over for him now, and that's sad to see, if you ask me.
Yeah. Of course, then 9 drivers is what we have remaining, but we somehow we have a battle for the lead.
Yeah,
I mean, we've had a battle for the lead the whole race. That is that is actually really good. That's very nice to see that we still have that. How? Don't ask me how. Don't even start doing that. But we have a battle for the lead again, and how it's Hoyer battling for the lead. Also, don't ask me how that is again a possibility.
It's the rain.
It definitely is. And,
yeah.
it is so hard, Felix. I mean, I'm seeing a guy.
Oh! Hoyer spins.
Spins! There we have another guy. Bingo! Hoyer off in the exit of village entry loop. Hoyer will be bashing on his helmet right now. That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
There will be some.
He was so close. I'm a second away from.
There's
Pash.
a German inside that cockpit who is cursing right now. I can tell you.
Yeah.
Just that fraction too early on the power again, Felix.
Yeah, it's as has been proven a lot of times here today. It's very tricky in these wet conditions.
It is so tricky,
especially with the slick tires.
To be honest, driving on the inters right now is easier. Yeah. But you don't want to do that. You want to be the fastest guy on track, and by doing that, you have to be on the slicks. But it is tricky, and yeah, what I wanted to say is that we have a certain guy in the YouTube chat. I don't think it's even worth mentioning his name, but yeah, he says, that it is amateur-like. But honestly, try it yourself. This is not easy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
The track suddenly brightens up.
Yeah, it is suddenly
really?
again. The sun is shining all of a sudden. But yeah, try to do for 52 laps. Try to drive on the exact same racing line for 52 laps. I bet there are not a lot of guys who can do that. And if you can't do it in the dry, when you apply it into the wet as well, when there is a drying line and off the drying line is wet, you are on the slicks. If you are 1 centimeter off the track, you are gone, mate. You are absolutely gone. And you can say that it's amateur-like, but it's not. It's realistic. It's the case. It is not easy. Come on.
Actually, Van der Niet is on the intermediate tires. I think he's just cruising it home now. I think.
You know what? Yeah, I said it before with where I end up, and currently it ends up in 7th, and if he keeps on driving like this, which is a high chance because he's on the inters and making it a little bit more easier for himself, he will definitely pick up at least 2 points because there are only 9 drivers right now. So Van den Eyck playing the easy card, so to say.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe even with 22 laps remaining. Maybe Van den Eyck can take a win home today. Let's not be too positive. Or well, it's of course playing it safe from Van den Eyck, as you say.
See, Paschalis is consistent. That is what you like to see. 38.8. Okay, then he had the spin. So that's a 151. But then again, 138.2, 138.8, 138.2. That is consistency, you know?
Yeah.
Looking at Hoyer, 137.2, 138.6, 138.1. That's okay-ish. But then again, this lap, he is at 37.0. That is extremely quick again. It's in fact the fastest lap of the race. But
Yeah.
next lap again, he will be doing a 38.6. And, you know, where is that consistency? If he just can have that,
as you
he
say,
goes off again.
same spot.
There we go. That's the prime example of what I was talking about. Could have timed it better.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the fifth time as well for Hoyer that he made a mistake there. So 9 drivers left, but I guess you could call that we are not short on action at all.
No, absolutely not.
We're getting another live reaction from Peter Bell, that's the manager from Origin. He now says that he is extremely, you know, happy that Brewer has left for 50 meters now. Firstly it was 30 meters and then another 20 before he had to retire, but you know, definitely something you don't want to see. Brewer definitely had great pace.
Hoyer in the pits.
Hoyer in the pits. Brewer had fantastic pace, but you know, it's also a shame to see a race like, you know, end like that, because there wasn't a lot at all he could do. Anyway, Hoyer in the pit lane, coming in from the medium tires, switches to the hard compound this time. And let's see how strong that undercut is compared to Paschalis. I think the gap was about 4 seconds, something like that, when Hoyer came in.
Around the 4.28 or 4.25. Yeah, bit of oversteer there. The exit for Mitchie Hoyer. Of course, these tires are cold coming out of the pits. But yeah, let's watch Paschalis Georgis, what he'll be doing. With his first pit stop, he actually stayed out 2 or maybe even 3 laps more than Brewer.
Good point though.
And yeah, he didn't lose a lot of time. He did lose some time, yeah, for sure, but it was less than what we expected at the time. So let's see what he will be doing now. Stays out for now. So yeah, gonna be very interesting to see.
Yeah, and you know, looking at the championship again, the drivers' championship, Paschalis could have done such an amazing job today, but it's a little bit of an if situation, you know. What if Brewer didn't spin? What if Quiet didn't retire? You know.
Yeah.
That's all behind us, but it could have been a fantastic day for Paschalis in terms of drivers' championship. It still can be, by the way, to be honest. If he still wins this over Hoyer, of course he will gain 7 points if Hoyer finishes second. But yeah, it could have been as well, you know, a first and a fifth, for example. But yeah, that's it's always with benefit of hindsight, and it is absolutely irrelevant, because the facts are, you know, that the 9 drivers are left, 4 drivers on the lead lap, and Van den Eyck is in. See if he again goes for the inters. I would be interested to see that, actually.
Yellow flag on track, and oh yeah, Bufumo
again
on the grass. Bufumo not being able to cope with these conditions really well so far.
Yeah, he does it again. Van der Niet again on the inters.
Oh yeah, he just plays
The safe game.
safe game. Yeah.
Why not?
Just take home the points, take what you can get.
Yeah, definitely.
And, yeah.
Pascal's coming in. Stopping it right before the pit entry line. That was very sweet from the quick driver.
Oh, and he spins it in the pit lane, and that's his lead lost for sure. That's a lot of time lost in the pits.
And the pit entry is still wet.
Yeah. So he goes onto the hard tire again.
Yeah.
I think so, yes.
And there are so many drivers who have been at least once in the position where they were just, beating the steering wheel. As Hoyer comes across the line right now, dives into Abbey, the first corner, and Hoyer takes the lead.
Yeah.
A little bit of a confusion. Remember Fabrizio Gobbi maybe? He was driving last year in Ace.
Yeah.
So Hobby, or Hoyer and Gobbi, Hobby. Makes sense. But even Pascal is being caught out there, and of course that pit entry line is still wet. You can call him out.
Yeah.
But at least these two are right now in similar kind of conditions. They both are on the prime tire. However, Gerges has got 2 laps fresher. Is it, or is it 1? It's 2, right?
It's 2, yeah.
Yeah, it's 2.
Fumo DNF now, by the way. Finally,
8 drivers left then.
Finally
Half of the field.
Time. Yep. Out of the 16.
But what a spectacle we are seeing. I've said it before, these drivers won't be happy. They all had one situation. Except for Heestebeek, I think. Where they were really mad at themselves. Actually,
I don't know.
Heestebeek is again that quiet guy who performs extremely well, but hasn't been on the broadcast all that much, hasn't been mentioned that much. But he is quietly driving in third and doing an exceptional job in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, very good good driving from him to keep it there in the third spot, of course. Not as much drivers left, but still not easy to keep it there. Let's see what Georg can do.
He needs to stick with him. He needs to make sure that Hoyer cannot pull away. If Hoyer pulls away, the truck is going to become drier and drier most likely, and the chance that a mistake will be made becomes less and less. So Pascalis needs to stick with him if he can.
Seems to be going quick in the first sector so far. 2/10 quicker than Hoyer did in his first sector. But of course, one sector doesn't say everything.
No, indeed, one sector won't say everything. That's well said. So let's see then how he performs in this middle sector. He's quicker.
Slower
quicker than before, but slower than Hoyer.
Yep, 2/10, so it's even again.
May indicate as well that Pascalis is maybe running a little bit lower downforce. If he's consistently faster in the first sector but slower in the middle, then definitely it's an indication that the Greek driver is having less downforce on his car, less wings compared to the German. Good final sector for Pascalis though, 27.9. Fastest lap of the race is still in the hands of Hoyer. Yep, it is.
Hoyer so far, yes.
A 36.6. Pascalis just did the 36.7. And that is a 10th quicker than Hoyer was on last lap. So Pascalis closing the gap slightly as we see some on the background once again a few clouds. And Heestebeek. I see a mistake from Heestebeek.
Did you?
That is rare. Yep, spun on Abbey. Exit of Abbey.
That's a very strange
Wow.
place.
This time he was just on the dry line and lost the rear end. Again, could be the case that the balance is absolutely on the front end of the car and the rear steps out. He keeps third place though, 10 seconds ahead of Norbert Leitner. That's rare from Hayesbeck, to be honest, seeing him make a mistake, but that is probably also an indication as to how tricky the conditions are. Paschalis again closed that gap. There's a little bit of traffic in the name of Giordano Valeriano in front of Hoyer. Maybe the time for Paschalis as well to close up a little bit more. Having said that,
Well, yeah, it goes into the pits.
Valeriano pulls in. Yep. Paschalis lost out a little bit on that lap.
Yeah, 2/10 slower on Mitch Hoyer with a new best lap, 36.341. Oh, and he makes a mistake going into turn 2, and that is lead lost for Mitchy Hoyer. Is it? Yes, it is. Here we go. Paschalis Georgius cruises into first place, doesn't make a mistake now, as Brewer did earlier. But what happened to Hoyer there?
Too much speed, I guess.
Yeah, just a bit too much speed going into that corner and lost the rear end, then onto the wet line, then no saving that car again.
Yeah, to be honest, he didn't really go with that much speed into it.
No,
if you have a dry track, of course, you know, no problem. You make a correction and it's fine. But when you now make a correction, you end up on the wet line. Exactly what happened to Hoyer. You said it, and you know, bye bye.
Yeah. Christian would say bye bye, zwaai zwaai.
I was thinking of about saying it, but I thought maybe not. Yeah, bye bye, zwaai zwaai. It's what we say in the Netherlands. Bye bye, wave, wave, basically. Yeah, that's definitely what Paschalis did to Hoyer there when he cruised by. 1.5 is the gap, and is it waiting then for? You know, this is a tough question, maybe, Felix. But what would you say? Are we waiting now for one of the two leaders to make a mistake again? Or are we waiting for Hoyer to make a move finally on Paschalis? Because let's be honest, how many overtaking maneuvers have we seen?
Well, really overtake maneuvers only in the first couple of laps, a couple, but not really during the course of this race. But yeah, of course the track is getting drier and drier, so the conditions are getting less tricky. But still, it's not easy by any means. And yeah, let's see if Hoyer can close up that gap and maybe get back first place. But yeah, only what is it? 14 laps remaining, something like that. So yeah, gonna be interesting. Georg is of course on 3 or 2 laps newer tires, so he might be able to just hold on to that grip a little bit longer, but we're gonna have to see.
And Leitner has been into the pit as well from 4th place, rejoined in 4th as well. Medium tires for him, as I'm going to remind you once again on the YouTube live stream. You can switch between onboard stream and the offboard stream, so to say. And yeah, if you want to see some onboard action, then feel free to press that button. I'm sure you will find it somewhere on the stream. And yeah, watch some onboard as well, alongside the track cameras, which we have. Good to see that, by the way, in FSR, the onboard cameras as well. Fascinating to see. Hoyer being really quick compared to Paschalis. Gap is now 0.8 of a second.
Oh, and Georg just makes a mistake. Here we go. Same place as Hoyer did just a lap ago.
Yep, it's the exact
and here we go.
same. Oh, wow.
Hoyer cruises past. Georg is again in P2. Now a little bit closer than Hoyer was. So maybe it's not over yet. But Georg won't be happy about it.
No. Again, the ball keeps, you know, the ball is all the time being played in someone else's park.
Yeah.
Then it's you know, then it's X making a mistake and I taking advantage of it, and then the next lap it's I making a mistake and X taking advantage of it. And it's not only between these two drivers, of course.
Oh, here we
it's
go! Hoyer!
Pascal's.
Oh, George!
It's a major
Oh,
impact, I think. Is he going to lose his rear wing? There we go, that's the rear wing lost. Yep.
That's race over for Georges. Yep. Instantly escapes.
Instant DNF, and that shows the anger. That really shows the anger. He's instantly gone.
Yeah.
Oh, and Hoyer inside that German cockpit.
So
will be now smiling and grinning, and oh man.
Haysterbeek as well. He's gonna take
P2.
second place.
See that just quiet and moving up into P2. That's Haysterbeek. But I guess the battle for the lead is now gone. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Van der Niet is a little bit too far down to win the race now, I think.
Yeah. But we've had the battle for 38 laps, you know. I mean,
yeah.
Come on. Despite all of these conditions, we have seen some amazing driving. And honestly, out of all the drivers who I have seen in the top 3 today, Hoyer is the one who has made the most mistakes, but I'm trying to word it here, trying to not offend Hoyer as well. Exactly.
Yeah.
He made the most mistakes, but he is the guy who actually. I know it. Chris de Jong will be proud of me. Having troubles getting over there, but I have it right now. I have it in my mind. Basically, we have had 3 dogs fighting over a bone. Hoyer was the 3rd dog who took that bone home. That is always what Chris de Jong says, and I learned that from him. But it is true in this case. Hoyer has made so many mistakes, but I guess those mistakes weren't fatal in the way that he had to DNF, whereas Pascales, you know, he lost his rear wing and suspension damage, DNF. Brewer had suspension damage, DNF. Hoyer, you know, just went off the track a couple of times, well, a lot of times.
Yeah, but yeah, no real damage to his car.
Exactly.
Still on these conditions is.
And still, it can happen, you know. It can still happen. But
yeah,
for Pascales' case, maybe a bit of over-aggression going in Kop's corner, maybe frustration shown there, but it could also well be down to the dirty air, of course, from Hoyer's car too. Dirty air is quite a significant thing in this mod, especially around the high-speed track like Silverstone, and you know, the fact that Pascales spun on the entry of a high-speed corner as well, Kop's, could indeed you know, be the indication of the dirty air being a part there.
We were seeing that he was probably running a bit less downforce than Hoyer, but yeah, still.
Hoyer, there we go! Hoyer
dear.
is off. What if Haysterbeek comes now, you know?
Oh, that would be amazing, but...
Hoyer
again! Too much on the power there, on the rejoin. Keep it together, Hoyer. Just have got to get it together for 11 laps now.
Yeah, Haysterbeek doesn't have to pit anymore.
Yeah, and I don't know about Hoyer.
To be honest, Haysterbeek has only made one mistake, which seemed to be more setup related than a driver error, to be honest.
Yeah.
Of course, it's usually a driver error to be fair, when you make a mistake. It's easy to blame a setup. Oh man. And the gap was 40 seconds before. What would it be? Like 33, 32, something like that maybe?
Van der Niet is going for a medium. He has quit playing the safe game and is out on track on the medium tires now.
Interesting. So he probably fixed now the racing line or the drying line is that wide that he doesn't think he will make any mistakes with it. And
well, we'll see.
Yeah. Probably he just thinks the drying line is so effective right now and so wide.
Valkyrie also into the pits now. See what he does for sure. That must be the mediums. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and Timo in 4th. I mean, no offense to Timo, but I haven't seen him so far up. Of course, he drops to 5th now with Valeriano getting past. Haysterbeek in. Oh, Haysterbeek in. What?
What? Why? When did you last stop?
Lap 37. Is it drive-through?
That's 4 laps. 5.
It's a drive-through. It's a drive-through.
Did he cut a corner or
No,
probably then
in the
speed
pit.
it? Let's scroll it back.
He's sped in the pit probably, and he has a massive flat spot as well on the front right tire. Haysterbeek.
Oh, let's see what he did in his pit stop.
Lap 37 was his pit stop,
Yeah.
Felix.
Just watching now.
Great.
Not on entry. Or was it? Oh yeah, on entry. Over the line, he was still at 100 kph, so that's why he has that drive-through penalty. Yeah, so the gap.
3 seconds between Leitner and Hoyer, or Leitner and Haysterbeek.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
I don't think I have ever seen a race with 7 drivers, but which is still so exciting to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's the
Spectator. You don't know what's going to happen. Even Hoyer, went off the track a couple of laps ago while driving all on his own, and a team of RV in as well. Don't tell me he has a penalty too. He has.
Partington has a
go.
penalty.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep, he has a stop and go. And Van der Niet. Van der Niet is only in the middle sector. Okay, yeah. Timo
Yeah.
will stay in 5th then for sure. So let me see. 1, 2, 4, 6. I think if you have managed to stay stay on track with your car for this race, you would get a minimum of 6 points, right? I think you get 6 points for 7th.
Yeah, I think I can quickly grab those.
I think it's 1 point for 10th, then 2 for 9th, 4 for 8th, 6 for
Points.
7th, I think.
It's,
Not entirely sure.
Let's see, 7th is 9 points.
Oh!
8 is 8. P9 is 7 points, and P5.
Oh!
Or is it? Yeah, this is 2016 Ace.
Yeah, Ace is different, of course. It makes sense. Wait. Is it?
At least that's what GP coach said. I could be wrong.
It says 7th, 8th? 8 points?
Oh wait. 7th is 9 points. Here, but I don't know. Oh, Haysterbeek spun.
Yep.
Somebody is saying Haysterbeek spun.
And lighter than in 2nd. Holy shit.
Oh wow.
Cops corner? Oh, even before that.
Yeah. Wow. In the same spot where Brewer and Burgess had their troubles.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the wet line, just a bit too much speed carrying into that corner. Then onto
Yeah.
the wet line, understeers off onto the grass and spins it around.
Yeah, I've been getting a little bit of a help from a viewer on YouTube, but also from Mike, the guy who broadcasts the on-site track camera, so to say. The Ace point scoring system is indeed a bit different. Points are being scored down to 15th place, all the way to 15th place. So there we go.
Yeah.
But still, all of these guys who are still driving will pick up plenty of points. Excuse me, and that's my point.
Yeah.
So, I guess we are somewhat making us up for the final couple of laps of the race. Maybe our president, Christopher Kopp, can now press the rain button again and have some rain for the last 9 laps. I mean, why not? I doubt it will happen though. It's right now nice and sunny again, so I expect the final 8 laps to be sunny too, and in dry conditions, but you never know. We're leading them by 44 seconds over nobody else than Norbert Leitner. Who would have thought that to be the case? Him in the 2nd place after 44 laps. Haysterbeek in 3rd then. Haysterbeek just set the fastest middle sector time. And we'll see what he can do, whether he can catch up to Leitner for 2nd place. But if this was some kind of what is it called? like a betting match. I think that's the right word for it.
Yeah, something like that.
And you would have probably, you know, let's say you put €2 on this top 3, you would probably get €50 in return or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
That is something that nobody expected, even not with the rainy conditions being predicted beforehand as well.
Heesterbeek just put in the fastest lap, by the way, on 36.2. And you get a point for the fastest lap as well, right? Or do you in Ace? No, you don't.
No, indeed.
No.
Yeah, now, you know, I said Paschalis could have done a good job for the championship, of course. That's not the case, we know that. And he will know it too, of course. He'll be disappointed, I know that for sure. It could have been a good day, but unfortunately that's not the way it always goes. You know, for someone to call it a good day... Heesterbeek. Okay, I thought Heesterbeek made a little bit of a mistake. I thought I saw it in the background, but it's not the case. Hoyer will be going away from this weekend with amazing thoughts and an amazing streak as well in the championship right now, because he'll be having 87 points, which is 29 points ahead of Alvaro Torres.
Yeah.
So Hoyer will do an amazing job in the championship and he'll be happy. But again, that is something which I just did not expect at all after the first 10 laps of this race or so, where Hoyer was struggling so much. And then I do have to give credit to Hoyer that he seemed to be growing again in the final couple of laps in this race again. He makes less mistakes, but yeah, to be honest, at the same time, that is something you would expect, you know. It's getting drier and drier, it's getting harder and harder to make mistakes again, so that all makes sense.
Yeah.
But at least he is, you know, more consistent right now. But
Yeah.
at the same time, he has the space to be more consistent as well, because he hasn't got as much pressure anymore, because there's nobody around him really.
Yeah, you can almost say this race today is the exact opposite as what we had 2 weeks ago in Canada. In Canada, most of the field was already settled after lap 15 or something.
Yes, but
And-
after lap 10, you can definitely say that.
And today it's anybody's guess. It's just unpredictable.
It has been anybody's game from the first minute onwards.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right on that. And that's indeed the complete contrary of the Canadian Grand Prix of 2 weeks ago. Next week it will be Austria, which is around the Spielberg circuit. Let's
Yep.
see how the conditions will be over there. But for now we still have 6 laps to go in this fascinating race. And you have people who watch racing for the pure racing that goes on between drivers. You have people who watch racing to be enjoyed themselves by seeing technology at the maximum. And you have people who watch races because they enjoy the unpredictability in the race.
Oh.
If you are one of those people, then watch this race back, definitely.
Yeah, or if you
This-
know one of those people, just send them this.
Yeah, exactly.
Wink.
Exactly. Why not send them this? It's an amazing race we have seen today. And, you know, as I said, some people will love unpredictability in F1 and some just like to see wheel-to-wheel racing. That's fine. But if you are a person who likes unpredictability, then this race must have been an absolute cracker for you. And maybe one of the... Yeah, maybe it's not one of the best races of the season. I would call it more one of the most extraordinary races of the
Yeah.
season.
For sure.
Because for me, I am a guy who enjoys wheel-to-wheel racing, and that is something we haven't seen that much today. That's fine though, because we have still seen an exciting race, of course. But for me to be an extraordinary race, for me to be considered one of the best races of the season, I need to have like a 22 lap battle for the lead where 3 drivers are going side by side through every corner, basically.
Yeah, why not?
But still, this is a
Yeah.
surreal race, an extraordinary race. That is something which is true, without any doubt.
So now only 4 laps remaining for our leader, Nietzsche Hoyer. And with the lead...
Fumu, he of course already retired, but he
Yeah.
just left the server, so he was
Okay.
spectating a little bit.
So that's I was saying, Nietzsche Hoyer in the lead comfortably with 44 seconds compared to Norbert Leitner, so...
It's settled.
yeah.
It's definitely settled. The whole grid is settled.
Unless now suddenly there's a big lightning storm here in Silverstone in the last lap, and everybody goes crashing off into the wall, and the only one to finish is Danny van der Niet.
I honestly would love that. I would love that, honestly.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, it won't. As unpredictable as this race has been, no, definitely not. Yeah, and then I guess some drivers tomorrow for WC will be taking their lessons as well from this race. If it does rain tomorrow in WC, which is a little bit of a gamble. I believe there are some showers predicted just before the qualifying, just like today, really. But yeah, this could be a wise lesson for them as well, for those drivers tomorrow in WC. It may not be all about speed. It may not be all about raw pace. It may be about keeping that car on track, being consistent, making no mistakes. But still, I even doubt when I say that, because if someone hasn't been consistent this race, if someone has been making mistakes this race, it is Hoyer. But he still takes it home, so...
Yeah.
Of course, speed does then make a difference. That's what you see there then again. Maybe that we are settled right now. You could switch to the onboard view as well. We have available for you on the YouTube stream. See what it is like to drive in the cockpit of one of these cars. But for now, I think we are settled. We said it a few laps ago already, of course, as well. So we said before, Hoyer will do an amazing job in terms of championship right now. He'll be the big winner after this weekend. Paschalis, to be honest, could have been a winner as well after this weekend. But yeah, we said before, it just didn't happen. Same for Brewer, by the way. They were both in the same boat, so to say. But yeah, we saw what happened with Brewer. We saw what happened with Kyrgyz. And McGuire.
Yeah. McGuire as well, yes.
Someone who was extremely fast, I really think that. But in his rookie year, there are always points where in the Netherlands we would say you go through the ice. In English, I guess you could say there are always points in your rookie year where things will go horribly wrong. But that is only something to learn from, You have to learn from those things which are going wrong and perform better and do better next time.
Yeah.
And usually with those mistakes, you will do better next time because you have been there once before and you know what to do to avoid the same, thing happening.
Yeah, exactly. That is racing. If you don't make a mistake in any mistake ever, then that means you're not on the limit enough. I mean, to find that limit, sometimes you have to go over that limit, and yeah. It can go wrong then. That's racing and that's sim racing, and yeah, that's how it goes.
And experience counts,
Yeah, for sure. Oh, somebody has spun.
Yep, Netrex, I think.
And that was Van der Niet, I think. Just saw that on my second screen, on the live stream.
Yeah, I saw this one on the live stream. It wasn't Van der Niet, by the way.
No, then it was Leitner, and that actually made the gap to Heestebeek a bit shorter. 3
No, it wasn't Liner
seconds.
either.
Oh, well, then some
The
ghost-
Angelis. It must have been the Angelis.
Okay, yeah, probably then.
No.
Well, then there was just some ghost on track doing donuts and spinning around and such.
It may have been the Angelis. Well, whatever. Maybe also replay. That could be the case.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. But definitely what a day it has been for FSR. Qualifying, of course, already starting in those wet conditions. Van der Niet being the not the star, but definitely being the guy who had the balls to take the first gamble to go for the inters, which paid out brilliantly for him. Few people following his order, going for the inters for their final run. Some people perhaps cracking under the pressure there, by not being able to set a lap time on their final intermediate run, which was the quickest tire at that time, by about 2 seconds. Then of course the race started, a dramatic race where we have seen so many things go wrong, so many mistakes being made by drivers, especially by Hoyer, but somehow Hoyer is going to take it home. And that's a bit due, I guess, as well to the speed that this German has, because there is no doubt about that. Hoyer is an amazingly quick driver, and yeah, he will be taking it home. Heestebeek has set the fastest lap of the race in the penultimate lap, a 1:36.0, so he will get that one home, that trophy. A virtual trophy, of course. We don't have a real trophy for that, at least not.
No.
Heestebeek only a second behind Liner as well, by the way. So that could be interesting for the final lap, in fact. Hoyer in the final sector though. He'll be finishing off this race, and again he will be that leader of the championship. He will extend his lead and be the big winner. Coming through Veil, coming through Club, just one more time for Mitchie Hoyer. The German driver will win the 5th round of the ACE Championship, and oh yeah, what a win it will be for him. Extraordinary. So many mistakes, so many things went wrong, but he does take it in the end.
Okay. As Mitchie Hoyer crosses over the line, yeah, my game as well.
Oh, we've got a few precious. We've got the broadcast a bit. I don't know if Georg Winter is rFactor crash as well.